Oh, g'day. Look, I just come across an eel here. The dogs are all over it, and I yelled at them, and they're down there now. They're obedient dogs, so what they did, they straight away left the carcass here of the eel. Now, this is quite a sizable eel now. I've been walking through here in the last few days. This has all been flooded. It's the first time that I'm not walking through a complete rice paddy, but it's a bit like a rice paddy over here, you see. So we've still got water here, and I was thinking of eels walking through here and through this other part of the wetland where I've got to actually walk to the outhouse, you see. So I was thinking about eels. Now look at this. This is quite a sizable eel. This eel is twice the size of the eels that I was thinking might be walking around in my feet. Now it's a shame that this one has died of unnatural causes, because this is a natural floodway that's an unnatural floodway because of all the industrial land around here, see. So you got this concrete, where's the water supposed to go? It all runs along the concrete and then runs down into these drain areas that are natural water courses. There's a Dave with a dog here, I mean, bright, shiny, luminous one, golden one, protector. So she was willing to protect me from this carcass eel. Now these are very obedient dogs, because I yelled at them once to get away from it and they stepped back. Now that is a decent feed for the flies. It's not a decent feed for me because it's dead already. Now if we were to catch something like that, you can make a great, see what happens here on the other side. This is against the flow of the creek, but we've got a gradient of land there. You can see here on the camera that the gradient of land does raise up a bit. So this is like an opposite. This eel was like swimming around, I imagine, and probably having something up there, and for some reason the water went down significantly yesterday. It may have had something to do with the tide or something like that, sucking the water out faster, and then we had a reasonably warm day with no more rain yesterday, but not a hot day, and then we find that suddenly the water has gone down in a number of places quite significantly. However, whatever has occurred here, this poor fella or lady has zigged instead of zagging and has not ended up in the watercourse over there. Now, it's a real shame. Now, I've got some other educational videos like this one out there where on the other side of that rail bridge down there, then you get this gradient. See how if I get down here on this level, you can see how it raises up, right? Now, you get that on the other side, but it's got quite a gradient. It's almost half that gradient, and it's just on the other side there. It's out of reach. It's out of range of the camera's line of vision, and what happens there is I think the eels come sailing down or surfing down in the flood water. See how fast the water's moving now, and it's not flood water. It actually looks pretty good. I've got to get into that. Oh, that's lovely, and there's probably some gold underneath my feet as well. Might do a little bit of shoveling. A bit of sifting, sieving. What do you think of the eel's thinking if it's coming down here in flood water? I'd say that the eel's probably thinking cowabunga, dude, and then and find itself up on the high ground. Now those eels are normally half the size of that mature eel there, and they can get to more than double that size too. Beautiful creatures, absolutely beautiful creatures. And I've never eaten one, but I've got the blessing to eat the native eels. So maybe one day. Now the thing is, you can't kill native animals, you see, that's a native creature, so you're not allowed to kill it. It's not a fish, an eel's not a fish. You got to find it dead at the right time. You've got to prepare it the right way, and the first way to prepare it is to bless it. Now, blessing is a recognition. So if we can finish something off here, look at this land here. This is Aboriginal land. It's been terraformed, it's been changed. But still, it's alive. This is a dreaming, right? This is a dreaming. The dreaming is alive. Look at those trees, that's a dreaming. You see it? Sorry, camera shake there. Dreaming's alive. The living universe in which we were all born, in which we're all part of. So we give recognition to what came before us, what gave rise to us to be what we are, as we are, how we are, that we are, if we are, when we are, where we are. This is what we came from. That is what we came from. And you see reflection? Everything's reflection. Everything is a reflection. Until we realize that it is in fact just a reflection. And then we look up, or we see, we change our vision, and we look at what was actually the reflection. The ability to see the reflection is the grace of God itself. The ability to see that it is just a reflection is subsequently the grace of God itself. And then the ability to see what is the reflection, which, by the way, that's still all just reflection up there. But the ability to see that, again, is the grace of God itself. So we give some recognition. Give recognition here to this invasive species. While we give a recognition here to this native plant. While we give recognition here to these native plants and these native grasses, and then the invasive species. It's all together, alive, it's living. The mud, that's dreaming. It's all come before us, has it not? These flies, these organisms, that's the dreaming. That's the living universe from which you were born. Well, those guys having a convention. That there is the living universe from which we were all born. And when we pass away ourselves, then there's going to be these things that eat us. Especially me, because no one's going to know if I'm dead for at least 150 years. That's my idea. And so I doubt that I'm going to be buried. If I am, then I'm going to be buried under something where the flies aren't going to get me naturally. Now, you want to step lightly in this kind of land. Step softly. Put out a prayer before yourself. That's recognition. So where I'm going with all this Aboriginal land, we can learn to walk softly like the Aboriginal people did. There was no need for them to build all the inventions and the technology of the white people that came and changed everything, imprinted their way on this land because they had ships. They're out of harmony. There's still the creativity of the human mind and the human spirit and the ability of the human body it's all within the realm of creation, even the same as war. Unfortunately, but it's still part of the blessing, isn't it? So fortunate, in fact. Take time, stop, smell the flowers. Give recognition to what's dead underneath there, to allow those flowers to come. Give recognition here, this edible grass is bush tucker right there. That's bush tucker. Make yourself a nice patty out of that, leave it on a rock. Cook by lunchtime, turn it over. The other half be cooked by sunset. You got yourself a nice little grass sprouted patty. Some kind of sun-baked stone baked kind of sourdough patty of sorts. It's quite nutritious. All this other grass is edible as well. You can pull that out and chew on it. Take those husks off if it's got black on it, if it's got it'll make you hallucinate. So you don't want that one. But this is actually quite a good bush tucker right here, see that? And then see these ones? Ready to go. That's ready to be picked. Mash that up between two rocks. She's going to make it, she's going to make it, she's going to make it, she's going for it, she's going to make it. See, these are the dogs that I breed. You see that? Most other dogs, they wouldn't be able to do that. But she's going for the water track. It's gone straight back in the water. Now she's going to go back down in the water. But she's not going to do it. She's going to go around. That's a purebred paddock track dash. Same little terrier though. Specifically created to be the best kind of therapy dog for soldiers. Return from conflict. Again, another opportunity to give recognition of what come before us, and to give recognition of death of what died before us, was dead underneath everything that we are, how we are, that we are, where we are, when we are, what we are, cause we are. It's a funny thing because death comes naturally to everything. But then it can also come unnaturally, can't it? And killing is the one thing that everything does. Look, there's something buzzing around me, something buzzing around me, something buzzing around me. Close my eyes, I'm money, pa my on, 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 money, but that's gone. I don't know what that was, but it was either a really big horsefly or a really big wasp. So you always close your eyes, because in case it's bee or something, they like to go for the eyes with the window of the soul. And recite a mantra, sing a song of love and beauty. Think beautiful, happy thoughts. Think how much you love the living universe in which you were born. Think of these beautiful flowers. If you think of those beautiful flowers, you will not be stung by a wasp or a bee, I can assure you. Everything's a reflection, isn't it? Everything's a reflection. What was it that came before us? What is it that we see? What is it that we don't see? What is it that we care about? What is it we don't care about? What is it that we feel? What is it that we don't feel? What is it that we know? What is it that we don't know? What is it that we are? What is it that we're not? What is it that has come before us? What is it that has died to facilitate the experience that we're having right now? What is it that has been killed by the way we live? Can we give recognition to that? Not acknowledgement. We'll give acknowledgement, but not to stop at the acknowledgement. The Australian government, it recognises, it acknowledges the Geneva Convention, human rights, charter, but it doesn't recognise it. Same as the Australian government, it acknowledges Indigenous people of this land that were already here before the colonisation, under whatever circumstances that come about, whether it's legal or illegal. Fact is that we're here. We got guns, disease, technology, politics, psychopathic miasms within our genetic miasmal structure. That's the original sin. We're all by default born psychopaths because of what's come before us. The salt in the meat, the sulphur and the preservatives. That in itself is just enough to make us all psychopathic for the last 300-400 years at least, without even looking any further. And we've got lead, cadmium, disease, syphilis. It's all wound into our DNA. It's all wound into our genetic structure, our genetic background. What's come before us, what has lived and died and come before us to give us what it is that is everything that we know to be our experience right now. We acknowledge that, don't we? Naturally. We acknowledge that the grass is important. About grass, we wouldn't want to live on a planet that didn't have any grass, would we? This is beautiful, lush, overgrown swampland, wetland. You notice this naturally comes to a wetland. Whether it's been terraformed by white man and their machinery or not, this is naturally a wetland when we get this weather like this. There are frogs breeding everywhere. There are eels swimming around in here. Big ones. Twice as big as what I thought, but I did kind of see something like this in my mind the other night. And there you go. That's a large eel. That eel's lived a few years to get to that size. And then bang, it's died there because the water's gone down so rapidly. And I can't tell you why the water went down so rapidly in comparison to everything else. It must... I'm not even going to try and work it out. Is she trying to work anything out? Little Jackie? Or is she just following her nose, living her instinct? Things come quiet now, you see. That's the divine. We give recognition to all the people in this land that have lived and died before us. Every experience, every thought they've ever had, every experience they've ever had is available to us in what is known as the morphogenetic field. Can we find our heart? Within our heart, the heart of hearts. It's truly the center, isn't it? Is that what the heart is? The center? That's ultraviolet and X-ray vision there. What you're experiencing there. The navigation system runs on ultraviolet and X-ray, as far as we're aware, and infrared. That's the living universe from which you were born. Now everybody knows that these things keep us alive. Keeps us alive, isn't it? Very important, these things. These creatures, they keep us alive, don't they? I feel it's time to go now. That's enough from us now. Give recognition. Savor the moments you got. Be as busy as a bee, making every task a wonderful meditation. That's my prayer for you. Cheerio.